What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So I want to jump in today and take a look at some of the upcoming Marvel Rivals play modes and the costumes that were recently released for Thor and Luna, I think it was. Anyways, let's jump in. So first off the bat, guys, we got a new trailer, and it's the first ever, or at least it's being touted as the first ever PVE mode for Marvel Rivals, which is going to be focused on their zombies. So let's take a look at this, because I was pretty ecstatic about this, to be honest with you. Let me turn down the volume here a little bit. So this is inspired obviously by the Marvel Zombies show available on Disney Plus. So go take a look at that if you want to see it. Yeah. So now this was funny to me because we got Danny Koo announcing this. It was not Guang Wong and those guys over at NetEase.
Brett, you guys totally brought Marvel Zombies to life.
Thanks, Danny. But I'm guessing we're not here just to talk about how cool Marvel Zombies is, are we?
Well, yes and no, because we got
so we can skip most of this because they're sharing this, but
Magic, Jeff, and the Punisher taking on.
So now here goes a really cool part. Is here you can see Jeff in a new costume, so we'll probably be getting this Jeff version. I think it was probably in the roadmap and I just missed it. But these are essentially all the characters are going to get to play with. I think it would have been better if Daredevil, Doctor Strange. There's a few characters inside of here that from the Midnight Suns and that type of group that I think would have probably been better for this, in my opinion. But
taking on endless waves of zombies, you will have to survive the horde, go toe to toe with zombie Namor and the Queen of the Dead as bosses, and fight to save the world from getting totally zombified. We're also given each hero some unique abilities. Charge through the hordes as Jeff, slice and dice with blades, bouncing moon blades. Shock zombies with Thor in his persistent awakened state.
This is gonna be fun.
As Magic in her unlimited Dark Child form, zombie swamps and tough femur.
So it's to be honest with you, it's just absolutely bonkers. It's really cool. So you can see those characters available. But yeah, I'm picking Thor because I just want to relive some stuff. Now, hopefully this doesn't become for a limited time and they just keep this in the game, because this would be just really fun to just keep fighting zombie hordes, see how many you can kill. This just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's a new ability for Jeff, I think, maybe? Or just his interaction. Punisher was the last person that I'm like, I get why, but he's the last person that I thought of like being inside of here. And then we see the Queen, obviously she's getting her costume that we know was coming up. So those are the new game mode that's basically coming. I think that's available next week, October 23rd. So players will have a chance to access those. I think that's a really good game mode, and I hope that they do things where they do continue that. I was really more surprised at the inclusion of Danny Koo. I'm very familiar with him, you know, being engaged with like Marvel Future Fight, Contest of Champions and things like that as the head for Marvel games over there. But that was pretty exciting for me anyways. Next up, guys, we got the costumes inside the new store for both Squirrel Girl and for Thor. Now these are really cool looking costumes. Overall, it's the Formula R combo bundle. I'm surprised that they released these now. I would have rather preferred that they went on like a little bit of a Halloween, you know, spree right here, and we got more Halloween type costumes or more zombie-like costumes. I think that just would have been cool, but nonetheless, these costumes are not bad in my opinion overall. So let's take a look at some of what we get inside of here. Squirrel Girl is still a major annoyance for me when playing. I hate that people just like, she's like, She's like worse than Iron Man in my opinion, but it's a really good looking skin for her. In my opinion, I like the design and style of this, with her tail having the recolor with the blue and then the racing stripe, you know, on her back as well. Everything about this is pretty cute in my opinion. I think, you know, Squirrel Girl fans will go for this uniform overall. So Thick Mommy Squirrel Girl basically gets her due inside this one. Next up we have Thor. And I still think Thor looks really amazing inside this one. Like, you know, he looks like Garage Boy mechanic. You can see he's got the Roxxon gloves on, which is just wow. But everything about this, you know, overall, the redesign on Mjolnir looks pretty cool. Him with the jacket and stuff like that. Everything about his design inside this, I really like it. Like, overall, it's a really cool looking uniform. We get the MVP screen for Squirrel Girl. She's flying around her squirrel copter. It's a cool looking MVP screen, like nothing too snazzy about it, especially that this is supposed to be a legendary skin for her as well. Like, I was kind of surprised about that. The emote with her having the trophy, I was like, all right, like it is, nothing rattles me off. I will say that the nameplate looks pretty cool for Squirrel Girl. It's very, you know, flowy inside there, so I like it overall. And then we get the R Formula Oscorp spray inside of here as well. So to be honest, I don't like the spray. The emote just kind of misses. We get Thor's MVP screen, and I really like it. He's riding his horse. I can't remember the horse's name. There's like Gungnir. I can't remember the horse's name right now off the top of my head. But he's riding his horse. We get the Thunderhammer, and then we get his, you know, flowers emote, which again, I wasn't necessarily excited by at all either. But it is what it is. Nameplate's rather dull and stuff like that. And then we get the Roxxon spray inside of here. So none of these sprays really feel thematic to Thor or to Squirrel Girl. They just feel like, you know, kind of Roxxon inspired sprays, but they're not there in my opinion. Now, Thor is not a legendary costume, so you know, you can see here it's just an epic or whatever you want to call the purple ones, while hers is because the nameplate's there. So 2,800 units to basically get those. Overall, I like, to be honest with you, I think the uniforms are really good looking. So if you're like fans of the characters, then these are definitely gonna probably be uniforms that you want to get. The MVP screens don't really overwhelm me, and the emotes, they're really missing. And to be honest with you, sprays aren't something that I'd necessarily go for. But if you're fans of Squirrel Girl or you're fans of Thor, then these probably going to want to be costumes for you, especially with the new costume rotator. Like, I like this uniform for Thor. He just has far better uniforms for me, but at the same time, I like Thor, so I'd rather get this on a sale at a discounted than wait around and not have that discounted sale. I'll probably never play Squirrel Girl. Like, she's just absolutely not that for me at all. So don't forget that you do have that in the shop right now, still going down. On top of that, don't forget that the uniforms the uniforms that were in the shop for the uniforms that were in the shop for Maestro, Hulk, and God, my throat is hurting. Maestro Hulk was available inside the shop with the Daredevil skins. I've already purchased those, so be aware that they're still in the shop at a discounted rate as well. So you may want to just look at copying those. This is one of my favorite uniforms in the game. I always loved Maestro Hulk, so it's really exciting to see him basically join the foe. So that's there. They've also added the voice modulator, so you can change your voice output now for that. I don't talk in game. Listen, chat is just way too toxic for me to want to jump inside, but I do love the ability to change your background and the customization as well, so that's a really good one. But overall, good changes basically going on inside the game. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section below. Until next time, guys, peace.